Hello friends, welcome back in my another lecture. So as you know that we were discussing normal distribution in which the random variable x is continuous, and we had done node h. So next is node I, the moment generating function. The moment generating function of the normal distribution, this is given. The definition is same: m of t is equal to expected value of e raised to power tx. Since we know in this case x is a continuous random variable, so e of x is given like minus infinity to infinity x f of x dx, and what is e f of x in this case, and f of x for density function for normal distribution is 1 upon sigma into square root of 2 pi e raised to power minus x minus mu whole square divided by 2 sigma. This will be used here. So in place of x we have e raised to power tx, so this will be integration from minus infinity to infinity e raised to power tx f of x dx. Now substitute the value of density function from here, the density function for normal distribution. So sigma upon square root of 2 pi is constant, minus infinity to infinity e raised to power tx e raised to power x minus mu whole square divided by 2. This is sigma square to sigma square with respect to x. Sidewise put x minus mu upon sigma is equal to v. From here x will be sigma v plus mu. Now sigma and mu are constant, differentiating it with respect to mu, so dx will be equal to, mu is constant, sigma into dv. Limit of integration will be same, because when x is infinity, mu will be infinity. When x is minus infinity, b will be also uh, infinity, so limit will be as it is. So this is sigma into square root of 2 pi minus infinity to infinity e raised to power, this is tx, multiply this by tx, so this will be sigma bt plus mu t. So e raised to power sigma bt plus mu t. Next is e raised to power, because x minus mu upon sigma is v, so this will be e square minus b square upon 2 divided by 2, and dx from here is a sigma dv, sigma db. Sigma cancel from both sides, sigma cancel, so this is 1 upon square root of 2 pi. Now this is integration with respect to b, so e raised to power mu t will be constant, take it outside, e raised to power mu 2 is also constant, minus infinity to infinity. Next we are left with sigma bt, and this is sigma bt minus b square divided by 2 with respect to b. uh, Writing e power sigma bt and e power minus b square by 2 together. Now this further can be written as e raised to power mu t upon square root of 2 pi minus infinity to infinity e raised to power minus b minus sigma t whole square divided by 2 with respect to dv. How this is written like this, you can see here. Since minus b minus sigma t whole square divided by 2, this will be equal to minus half is constant, this is a minus b whole square, b square sigma square 2 square minus 2 sigma b t, multiply minus half inside, so this will be minus minus plus sigma b t minus b square by 2 minus sigma square t square divided by 2. So this term is actually this. So actually the exponential term is this, sigma bt minus b square by 2 minus sigma square t square divided by 2. Actually this exponential term is here, this one. So sigma bt minus b square upon 2 is here, but the extra term is here minus sigma square t square by 2. So outside we have to write here e raised to power sigma square t square divided by 2. If you add this one, these two cancel each other, this is still sigma bt minus b square by 2. So this is e raised to power, write this together, mu t plus sigma square t square divided by 2 divided by square root of 2 pi. Next is minus infinity to infinity again for sigma minus bt. sigma minus bt divide sigma minus bt, put sigma minus, sorry, v minus sigma t, b minus sigma t, let us put this is equal to w. Sigma and t are constant, differentiating with respect to w, differentiate it, so dv will be equal to dw. Again the limit of integration will be same. When b is infinity, w will be infinity. When b is minus infinity, w will be minus infinity. So this will come out to be now e raised to power minus w square divided by 2, w square divided by 2, and dv is dw. So now what about this integral? This integral, since we know, since x is a continuous random variable, so this condition will be always true. Minus infinity to infinity f of x dx will be equal to 1, as we know, because w is in term of v and v is in term of x. So this integral term is actually this interval. This is in term of x. So this integral will be 1 because of this relation. So e raised to power mu t plus sigma square t square divided by 2 whole divided by square root of 2 phi. So this is the moment generating function for normal distribution. Now I'm going to solve some problems on normal distribution. The first problem is, if x is normally distributed with mean 12 and standard deviation 4, find these probability. Probability x greater than equal to 20, less than equal to 20, between 0 to 12. We have to find x dash when this probability is equal to 0.24. We have to find x naught dash and x1 dash when this probability is 0.5 and this probability is 0.25. So let's start with a given. First of all, what is given here? Mean is given. Mu is 12. Mu is 12. Standard deviation means sigma is 4. Since we know, since z is x minus mu upon sigma, so this will be x minus 12 upon 4. This is normal variate, a normal variable. Now come to the first part. First part is we have to find probability such that x is greater than equal to 20. First of all, we will convert this in term of z. X is 20 minimum. For x is equal to 20, substitute here. So what will be z? 20 minus 12. This will be 8 by 4 means 2. So in term of z, this is 2. So this will be probability z greater than equal to 2. Now we can see from the normal table. As we know, this is the normal table, and this half of the portion of this normal table, this is symmetrical table. Its value is 0.5, as we know from the previous lecture. And this curve is f of z, this whole curve. Now z greater than equal to 2. Z greater than equal to 2 means the maximum, this is 3.9, this is 0 in term of z, and this is 3 minus 3.9. Greater than 2 is somewhere here. This is z is equal to 2, this is 0, this is minus 3.9, this is 3.9, means z greater than, probability z greater than 2 means this shaded portion. So as we know, total area is 0.5. So if from 0.5 you subtract 0 to 2, probability that x lies between 0 to 2. This is clear from here. If from the whole probability, this one, we subtract 0 to 2, we will left with shaded portion. So this is because of normal table. By normal table 0.5. Now we have to check this value from the normal table. 0 to 2 means maximum value is 2. So maximum value 2 is here. Go through the row 2.0 and below the column 0, because 2.0, this is 4772. This is so minus 4.772 by normal table. Again, this by normal table, and this is by normal table, and this is by normal curve. All right, this is the normal curve. So on simplification, this will come out 0.0228. This is the probability x greater than equal to 20. Also probability x less than equal to 20, this can be written as 1 minus probability of x greater than equal to 20, since p of a plus p of not a is equal to 1. So less than equal to 20 and greater than equal to 20 are like A and not A. We know this probability. This is 0.0228 and this will come out to be 0.9722. This is the probability that x less than equal to 20. Alright, second is we have to find value of x dash when this probability is given to be 0.4. Now come to the next. B part. Given we are provided that probability x greater than x dash, this is equal to 0.24. First of all, we will convert this in term of z. For x is equal to x dash, z is equal to z was x minus 12 upon 4. So x is x dash minus 12 upon 4. Let us suppose this is z dash z1. Let us suppose this is z dash c. Alright, so you can see here this is 0, this is 3.9 maximum, this is minimum minus 3.9. This curve is f of z, normal curve, and greater than this whole value is 0.5. So x greater than x dash is somewhere here. This is x dash and corresponding value of z is z dash. So this value is greater, this shaded portion is given to be 0.24. all right, because greater than value of x greater than x dash means value of this will be in term of z, this will be value of z greater than z dash is equal to 0.24. all right, so this shaded portion means probability that z is greater than z dash. So if from total one side of the curve total is 0.5, you subtract 0 to z1, probability that 0 to z dash, this is equal to 0.25. Since by normal curve, this is clear from the figure. If from total 0.5 you subtract 0 to z dash, you will left with shaded portion. Now for this probability, now we have to check for what value of z dash probability is 0.24 or near about 0.24. you can see from here 0. So first of all, simplify it. On simplification, probability 0 less than z dash, 0.5 minus 0.4, this is 0.26, this is 2.6. From normal table, we have to find the value of z dash such that this probability is 0.26 or near about 0.26. You can see here there is 0.26, 0.25, 0.2, first value of 0.26 is here. This is the nearest value to 0.26. So this is go through the rows 0.7 and below the column 1. So this is 0.71. This is the nearest value to 0.26. Z dash is equal to 0.71. Therefore, as we know this, we have to find value of x dash. Therefore, x dash minus 12 upon 4 is equal to z dash, and z is 0.71. So what is x dash from here? X dash will be 4 times 0.71 plus 12, and this will come out to be 14.84. So this is the value of x dash that we want to find. Now come to the next question. Sorry, third part, C part. Given two probabilities are given in this case. Given probability that x naught lies between x1 dash and x lies between x naught dash and x1 dash. This probability is given to be 0.5, and probability x greater than x1 dash, this probability is given to be 0.25. alright, let us put this is 1 and this is 2. You can see here this is the normal curve f of z. This is 0, this is highest value of z 3.9, minimum value of z 3 minus 3.9. X greater than x dash, x dash will be somewhere here greater than x1, x1 dash somewhere here in term of x. This value, this value is 0.25 because total area is 0.5. So 0.25 means half portion this and half portion this. This value is given to be 0.25. You can see here. And probability between x naught dash and x1 dash. X1 dash is this one, and where should be x naught dash, so that probability is 0.5 exactly, because this area is 0.25 now, half portion. So next we have to go here. So somewhere here will be x naught dash. All right. This shaded portion is for serial number 2. So you can see 0.25 is 0.5 and this is 0.25. So this probability 0.5, this is from right from x naught dash to x1, and this probability is x1 dash to 3.9. From given condition, clearly from given conditions, x naught dash and x1 dash are located as shown in the normal curve. Alright, for x is equal to x1 dash, since we know, because z is x minus 12 upon 4, because throughout this question z is x minus 12 upon 4, mean and standard deviation are given. So x is x1 dash minus 12 upon 4. Let us suppose this is z1. Say we have to find actually x1 dash. Once you find z1, you will easily get x1 dash. Also for x is equal to x naught, z in this case will be x naught minus dash divided by 12 minus 12 divided by 4, because you can see here these two portions are exactly equal. To right side of this z is equal to 0, we have positive values of z. To left side of this z is equal to, we have negative values of z. So these two are numerically different and absolute values are equal. If this is 2, this is a minus 2. If this is 1, this is minus 1. So because we have suppose this is z1, so this will be minus z1. This will be minus z1 in term of z. This is minus z1. This is clear by symmetry. Therefore from 1 we have given, from this condition convert this in term of z, because x1 dash for x1 dash is this one, x1 dash in term of z is z1. So probability of this will be z greater than z1 equal to 0.25. all right. Now from the normal curve you can see z greater than z1 means this shaded portion. If from total 0.25 you subtract 0 to z1, this implies from 0 to 25 you subtract probability 0 to z1, total 0 to z1, and we will left with shaded portion. So this is 0.25. so this probability 0 less than z1, 0.5 minus 0.25, this will be 0.25. this is by normal curve. This is clear from the normal curve, this from this diagram. Now what therefore by normal table we have to find what should be the value of z1, so that probability is exactly 0.2.5 or near about 2.5. you can see here there is 0.25, 0.25, 23, 24, 24, 24, 24, first 25 value is this one. This is the nearest value to 0.25, and this is go through the row 0.6 and below the column 8 to 0.68. so from the normal table nearest value to 0.25 is 0.68, means z1 will be 0.68. right. Therefore let us suppose these to be 3. Therefore from 3, because we have to find x1 dash, from 3 x1 dash minus 12 upon 4 is equal to z1, implies x1 dash will be 4 times z1 plus 12, and x naught dash minus 12 upon 4 is equal to minus z1, implies x naught dash is equal to minus 4 z1 plus 12. Now substitute the value of z1. After substituting the value of z1 from here, this will come out to be 14.72, and this will come out to be, substitute the value of z1 also from here, so this will come out to be 9.28. Alright, so these are the values of x1 dash and x0 dash. So this is about question 1. Now come to the question 2. Question 2 is this one. If x is normally distributed with mean 30 and standard deviation, we have to find these probability. Probability x lies between 26 and 40, probability x greater than 45, and probability modulus of x minus 30 greater than 5. Given mean is 30, standard deviation is 5. Since we know z is x minus mu upon sigma, so this will be x minus 30 upon 5. So normal variable in terms of z will be x minus 30 upon 5. Now come to the first part, probability that x lies between 26 and 40. First of all, we will convert this in terms of z. For x is equal to 26 and for x is equal to 40, you can see, if you put x is equal to 26 here, put here x is equal to 26, so z will be this will come out to be minus 0.8. Put x is equal to 40 here, so this will be 2, exactly 2, so z will be 2. If you put 1 by 1 x 26 here and x 40 here, you will get minus 0.8 and 2. So in terms of z, probability will be minus 0.8 less than z less than 2. From diagram you can see this is z is equal to 0, z is equal to minus 3.9, z is 3.9. So we can split it, minus 0.28 to 0 and 0 to 2. So this can be written as probability minus 0.8 less than z less than 0 plus probability 0 less than z less than 2. This is clear from the diagram, because to left side of z is equal to 0 there are negative values of z, to right side there are positive values of z. This is from the normal curve. Next is bisymmetry. Minus 0.8 will be somewhere here, minus 0.8 somewhere here. So minus 0.8 to 0 will be exactly equal to 0 to 0.8. This is bisymmetry, and this is exactly z2. There is nothing unchanged. Bisymmetry. Probability, this will be exactly equal to this one. Whatever is the value minus 0.8 to 0, that will be also 0 to 0.8 by symmetry, and this is by normal curve. Now both the probability, we will find both the probability from the normal table. You can see for 0 to 0.8 means go through the row 0.8, go through the row 0.8 and below the column 0. This is 0.2881. This is 0.2881. Next is 0 to 2. So go through the row 2.0 this and below the column 0, and this is 0.4772. 0.4772 since by normal table. If you add these two, this will come out to be 0.7653. Also this is now part B. Probability that x greater than or equal to 45. You can see here for x is equal to 45, z will be, substitute here 45 means this will be 3, z will be 3 from here. So this will be in terms of z, this will be z greater than 3. Now you can see here 3 will be somewhere here. Greater than 3 means this shaded portion greater than 3. So this will be, if from total 0.25, because total one sided of portion is 0.25, you subtract 0 to 3, probability 0 less than z less than 3, we will left with the shaded portion. Now we will find this probability by normal table. 0 to 3 means go through the row 3.0 and below the column 0. This is 4987. 4987, 0.4987, since by normal table, and this on simplification will come out to be 0.0013 approximately. All right, now come to the third part, C part. C part is probability that modulus of x minus 30 greater than 5. So this probability can be written as 1 minus probability that modulus of x minus 30 less than equal to 5, because this event and this event, these are like A and not A. Probability of A plus probability of not A is equal to 1. That's why 1 minus, now you can see here modulus of x minus A less than L, then x lies between A plus L and A minus L. In this case A is 30 and L is 5. So A minus L means 25 and A plus L means 35. So probability 25 less than equal to x less than equal to 35. This is in term of z. Now we will convert this in term of x, in this in term of x. Now we will convert this in term of x. First x is 25 and second x is 35. Now we have to find z. When x is 25, so this will be minus 1. When x is 35, then x will, then z will be 1. This can be easily seen from here. So this is minus 1 to 1 now. Minus 1 less than z less than 1. This is value in term of z, and this is the probability in term of z. So this is 0, this is minus 3.9, this is 3.9. Minus 1 will be somewhere here and 1 will be somewhere here, and plus 1 will be somewhere here. Now this can be split into two parts, minus 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. So minus 1 to 0 will be same as 0 to 1. So this is 2 time 1 minus 2 time probability that 0 to 1. This is by symmetry. Now find this probability from the normal table. Maximum value is 1. So go through the row 1.0 and below the column 0. 3413, 0.3413. This is by normal table. And which on simplification will come out to be 0.3174. So this is the probability that x modulus of x minus 30 will be greater than 5. Now come to the third question. There are 600 economics students in PG classes of a university, and the probability for any student who need a copy of particular book from the university library on a day is 0.05. How many copies of the book should be kept in the library so that probability may be greater than 0.9? That none of the students need a copy from the library has to come back disappointed. We have to use normal approximation to the binomial distribution. It means we have to use normal approximation. So first of all, what is given? We will write here. Let x be a random variable that number of copies of the book in the university library. Given number of books are 600, because there are 600 economic students. So total sample number of trials are 600 economic student. Probability is given. You can see here probability that student need a copy of particular book from the university library is 0.05. This probability is also, so small p is given, probability is given to be 0.05. Alright, so what should we q from here? Q will be 1 minus p. 1 minus p means this will be 0.95. Now because we have to use normal approximation, but for normal approximation, for normal approximation we need z is x minus mu upon sigma. Sigma and mu are not given, because we have to use normal approximation to the binomial distribution. It means mean and standard deviation will be same as that for the binomial distribution. So what is mean? As mean mu is equal to np for the binomial distribution, and np are given now. This is 600 into 0.05, and so this will come out to be 30. And standard deviation, this will be positive square root of variance. Variance for binomial distributions npq. this will be n is 600, p is 0.05 and q is 0.95. if you simplify this is 28 upon 5, so this will be just greater than 5, so 5.34 this square root. So these are the mean and standard deviation. As also z is x minus mu upon sigma, so this is x minus mu is 30 divided by 5.34 for x is equal to x1. So what should be z? Z will be this will be x1 minus 30 upon 5.34. let us suppose this is z1. See, because we have to find x1, because random variables in terms number of copies of the book in the university library means we have to find minimum number of how many book should be kept in the minimum number of books should be kept in the library, so that student has not to come back disappointed. Further given this probability is also given, further given the minimum, let us suppose minimum number of the books are x1, so that this probability is given to be 0.9. this probability is given. You can see here how many copies of the book should be kept in the library. We have for this to be x1, so that probability may be greater than 0.9. so let us let x1 is the number of copies of the book in the university library, so that probability is greater than 0.9, because random variables in terms of number of copies of a book in the university library. First of all, convert this in terms of z. So this will be z greater than x1 in terms of z. This is z1 greater than 0.9. Since we know this whole probability is 0.5, this is 0, this is 3.9, this is minus 3.9. The maximum probability is 5. Since maximum probability by normal table is 0.5, so subtract, so we can, this can be written like this, z greater than z1. So subtract, we have to subtract 0.5 from here, so this will come out to be 0.4. that is probability that z greater than z1, this is greater than 0.4. actually these two steps are equal, so simply below this one greater than 0.4. so now from the normal table, therefore from normal table we have to find what should be the value of z, so that probability is greater than 0.4. probability is greater than 0.4. see here in the table, here is 0.4, 3 3 3 3 3.9 3.39. first this is the value 0.4, this value 0.4015, this is greater than 0.4, so this values go through 1.2 and below the column 9, 1.29. this value is exactly greater than 0.40, so the value z at this point is 1.29. on the normal table z1 is 1.29, all right, 1.29. therefore from 1 x1 minus 30 upon 5.34 will be equal to z1. this implies x1 will be 5.34 z1 plus 30. substitute the value of z1 from here, and this will come out to be 36.8, and which is approximately equal to 37. so x1 is approximate, that is x1 is approximately equal to 37. so library should keep at least 37. so therefore library should keep at least 37 copies of a book, so that none of the student has to come back disappointed. Now come to the next question. The marks obtained by number of students for a certain subject are assumed to be approximately normally distributed with mean 65 and standard deviation 5. If 3 students are taken at random from this set, what is the probability that exactly 2 of them will have marks over 70? First of all, let x be a random variable that marks obtained by a given set of student. Given mean is given to be 65, standard deviation sigma is given to be 5. All right, as z is x minus mu upon sigma, so this will be x minus 65 upon 5. All right, let, because this is okay, first of all we have to find probability. Let small p be the probability that randomly selected student get marks over 70. Therefore this probability p will be probability that x greater than 70, because random variables in term of mark obtained by given set of student, these are greater than 70, right? Given set of student, we don't know exactly how many students are there in the set, but we have to definitely find the probability that student get marks over 70. First of all, convert this in term of z. For x is equal to 70, z will be substitute the value of z x here, 70 minus 65 on 5, so this will be 1. All right, so in term of z, this will be z greater than 1. Z greater than 1, you can see now here from the normal table, this is normal color for the z. Z is equal to 0, z 3.9, this is minus 3.9, and 1 will be somewhere here. Greater than 1 means about this shaded portion. This probability is probability of z greater than 1, this probability. Now you can see, we know total value of one side, total area of one sided of the portion 0.5. If from 0 to 0.5 you subtract probability 0 to 1, probability that 0 less than z less than 1, we will get, this is 0.5 minus, we will get the shaded portion from 0 to 1. Find this probability by normal table. 0 to 1 means maximum value is 1, so 1, go through the row 1.0, this is 3.1, and below the column 0, 3413, this is 0.3413. this is by normal table, and which on simplification will come out to be 1587, since by normal table, by normal table. This is the probability that randomly selected student get marks over 70, and this probability will be same for all the students selected from the given set of student. As clearly, this probability will be same for all students of given set who are randomly selected and having marks greater than 70. Probability same means this is probability of a success, so this is probability of success. So p is 0.1587, so what should be q? Just opposite of this, so this is probability of success, q will be 1 minus p, which on simplification will come out to be 0.8413. so number of trials, how many trials are there? Because 3 students are selected at random, so n is 3, and exactly 2 of them will have marks over 70. So probability, we have to find probability of 2 successes, and small x will be 2, and by binomial distribution, p of x is equal to small x, this is n c x p raised to power x q raised to power n minus x. Because probability is same for all the students, therefore by binomial distribution, we have to find the probability of exactly 2 of them will have marks over 70. Substitute n is 3, so this is 3c2 p. What is p in this case? P is 0.1587 raised to power 2, and q is 0.8413. n minus x, 3 minus 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. If you simplify it, and 3c2, use the formula ncr, factorial n, factorial r, factorial n minus r. So which on simplification will come out to be 0.0635 5. So this is the probability that randomly selected exactly 2 of the students have marks over 70. Why we are using binomial distribution here? Because the probability that randomly selected student get marks over 70 is small p and its value is 1.87, and because this probability is same for all the set of students who are getting marks over 70. So we have to use binomial. This is the probability of success, small p. So we have to use a binomial distribution. Number of trials are given to be 3. 3 students are selected at random. Alright. So this is all about this question. Thank you.